Here we have a new 2025 Toyota bz4X. This one comes in the limited trim level, front wheel drive model, so 201 net horsepower coming from that single electric motor. Windshield pearls the paint, and then we have black soft-tex interior. So it shares a platform with the Subaru Solterra. As we come around to the front end here, we do get our LED headlamps, and then our LED daytime running lights as well. But a nice look here, an interesting look when we put it that way. Down here to the wheels, these are 20-inch alloy. And then charge port is here. You can DC fast charge as well. I believe up to 150 kilowatts. With passive keyless entry on the front. To the door panel here. We get one touch up and down windows on all four doors. Power door locks are there. Rear window lock, power mirror controls. We do get blind spot monitors in the side mirrors. Bottle holders are there. Power lift gate, hood release, illuminated door sill there. And then here we have our power driver's seat with two-way power lumbar support. Big thanks to John Roberts Toyota for allowing me to review this vehicle today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click on that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. But great space back here. I'm 6'3" with longer legs sitting behind myself. One thing they did do right with this vehicle was making it really spacious. The space is fantastic here. Now down here, two USB-C charge ports, 3-stage heated outboard seats, rear AC vents are there. Middle seat folds down, bottle holders are there, little storage tray. And a grab handle here, and you can hang a shirt or a pair of pants on that hook. Child locks are on the side. Lock, unlock there. And then here is the cargo space in the back. This does have the optional JBL sound system, so the sub for that is right there. And then the storage compartment underneath, you can put your inflator kit for your tire if you need that. And we have the hooks on the side here. And then cargo tray. Pretty easy to just slide that back into place and then undo it there. So there's look at the back end LED tail lamps. Not much to see underneath. But to the rear passenger side, you want to fold the seats flat, pull on this latch here. Top tethers are integrated in the back of the seats themselves. And then when you pop it back in, your lower latch anchors are right in there. Manual 6-way front passenger seat. And then while I'm over here, 12 volt down here, two USB-C ports. Pretty good sized area to hide stuff. And then window sticker here. You all can pause anywhere you need to take a closer look at anything. I know it's really small. This is a duplicate copy. But 236 miles of range on a charge. 45,944 is the sticker price for this one. But there's a front mounted electric motor. That's shut. I don't think it did, or maybe it did. So LED turn signals, it's a nice touch. Let's hop on the driver's seat out of this wind. So soft text wrap steering wheel. There's the horn. Over to the radio, we do get AM, FM, XM, along with Bluetooth audio. And then we have our wireless CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility here. And you can get the navigation subscription if you want. Vehicle settings are in here. And then your regular settings are here if you want to change your language or units. And then down here, dual zone automatic climate controls. You get 3-stage heated cooled seats that you can set to auto for the front. And then you have your windshield de-icer there. Heated steering wheel toggles here. Everything else pretty self-explanatory in terms of fan speed, fan direction, the temp. And then volume buttons here. And you can turn the audio off with that. That is, that's just weird. I'm gonna just be honest. Hazards are here. Brightness for the gauge cluster, and then the odometer trip meter. You can decide what you want to show there. And for the shifter, hit the brake, push in, pull for reverse, push and hold for neutral, push to the right for drive, press that P for park. And then your one pedal, you can turn that on or off there. Automatic brake hold, electronic parking brake, pull up to engage, hit the brake, press down and disengage. And then your eco and snow mode are there. Hit this front camera. You can pull that up. And it gives you that 360 view. And then you have a park assist there if you want to use that. Traction control. And then up here, we have our lights, all those buttons for that, SOS. Then we can open or close the roof here. So you just hit that one touch and it takes care of that, opens up the glass roof. And there's a look at the back from up here. Garage door transmitters there. Wireless charging pad stowed in here. Bottle holders. Center console cubby space. Here's a real sticker in here. And then this tray comes out. There's a little bit more in there. Now back to the front, blinkers, your high beams, set the auto there, daytime running lights off, and then you have automatic wipers, one time off, auto, low, high. You can adjust that auto sensitivity here and pull up here for the front fluid. These 4 arrows and this back button are to go through the gauge cluster there in the middle. And you can go through your settings and whatnot, turn all that stuff on or off, tire pressure monitors, all that's available. And then volume here, up, down, voice recognition, Bluetooth button, audio sources can be toggled, track list or radio station presets can be changed here. And then we have the safety sense, so go between adaptive and cruise, adaptive and radar, adaptive and regular cruise here. And then you can set the speed, set the gap for the adaptive cruise, and then you can turn the lane keeping system on and then push this to activate the driving support system. So that just turns on the adaptive cruise with the lane tracing. And push button starts here. Finally, here's the key fob. Next, let's go ahead and take this bz4X out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in the bz4X here, it's a pretty good, solid car here. But I just feel like Toyota did not try with this. And I say that because there's so much that makes sense here, but then there's also so much that doesn't. So I don't understand these volume controls first and foremost. Like, there were so many different options there, and we have a button. I need a knob here. I need one. Now, I'm glad they didn't put it right next to the shift knob or anything, but still, to get that going, you have to push it in. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm not one to really nitpick EVs, but again, I just feel like they almost did this on purpose, because they make such great hybrids. They just make fantastic hybrids. They even make a fantastic plug-in hybrid with a RAV4, but this just made no sense to me whatsoever. You have a car here with a single electric motor mounted to the front, and we're getting less than 250 miles of range on a charge, but it's still $46,000. That just kind of bugs me. But I mean, other than that though, like, again, if I didn't know any other vehicles, this isn't a bad option. But when I know that I can get a Nissan Leaf for cheaper with about the same range. Now I will say the space in here is phenomenal. They did a great job with this platform, making it very easy to fit 5 big people like myself in here. But again, a lot of the stuff is just silly. Like, for example, this dash or this gauge cluster in front of me is hindering my visibility very badly, because it's taking up, like where I have my tag there in the window, it's taking up more than my license plate is, just having this in front of me. And this is directly in front of me. But again, just the overall usability of it is good, very good. Other than the range could be better. I feel like the DC fast charge speed could be better. Again, I just feel like this was something that they made because they had to almost. But I mean, I have heated cooled seats in here, which is a big plus, because a lot of EVs weren't trying to bring this to market, specifically the ones that were targeted more towards the middle class, the average buyer. I'm not talking about a Mercedes or the Escalade IQ, but this to be in, and it is a limited trim, but still to be this Toyota bz4X, having cooled seats is a big plus. And as much as Toyota's interiors aren't my favorite, I feel like this is one of the more exquisite interiors that I've witnessed in a budget EV. And I say budget because there really isn't such thing as a budget EV now, but just for this one to be less than 50 grand, it's nice that all this is gloss black. Again, we have a heated steering wheel, heated cooled seats, nice screen there. The button, I just can't with that. Now the Mustang Mach-E, and I always compare EVs to my car because that's what I drive, the Mach-E, but even though that has a knob and is kind of quirky and gets on my nerves, I'd much rather have that than these buttons here. Just because it makes sense, kind of, because you're not accidentally hitting the temperature buttons, because these have actual like knobs, but I could accidentally hit that trying to reach for the volume button, and it's just annoying. Now I'm gonna make sure the eco mode is off if I can see it. There it is. And then I'm gonna give it a pull getting on the interstate here. Here we go. Oops. So I would say great torque there. For this to just have 201 net horsepower. I mean, it got up to speed pretty nicely. I almost forgot that this was a front wheel drive car. That's why I had so much tire spin there, but I'm wondering if there's a setting that's off where it's not letting me use the support system. There it is. But I mean, range, I feel like, is one of the things that's holding this back for the most part, just because everyone else has a 300+ mile option. And you also have to realize, like, the name is weird, the looks are weird. From a luxury standpoint, it actually is pretty good, but it's one of those cars that could have been better. And that's weird coming from Toyota, I think, because Toyota usually makes the best of the best in terms of practicality. And this here, it's practical if you don't have to go far. If you charge it at home, yeah, it's relatively inexpensive. It's front wheel drive, but I feel like a lot of costs were cut to make this relatively inexpensive. But I could just go up a little bit more and get a Mach-E or get a Blazer EV or something that just has more to it. I feel better range, better power. Even like the Solterra version, driving that in all-wheel drive is like night and day compared to this. And you're not really suffering that much with the range because you're not taking it on long road trips with pretty much to anything unless it's like 290. So again, for the money, I just feel like we could have done a better job with this car, but really no actual complaints, again, if the competition weren't so fierce right now. But with all that being said, I think it's a decent car, especially if you get one pre-owned. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I just feel like for the sticker price, I want a little bit more from a Toyota. But with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2025 Toyota bz4X Limited.